You ready to go outside? Okay, here we go. Oscar is what we call a harlequin. His spots are asymmetrical. He has a black tail and black on his feet or legs, plus the spot on his head. Once you see a harlequin, it's like seeing a Dalmatian. And then you see them everywhere, period. There's at least one other family that has one that's a creamsicle harlequin. It's white with orange spots and an orange tail. So we go on walks at least twice a day, sometimes 3 times. He loves it. But getting your cat ready for harness and leash takes time. And then there's roly-poly. He loves his roly-poly. It's about an 8-week process to get a cat from accepting the harness to actually going outside and walking. And I liken that to when I was a personal trainer. I used to train people for 5Ks, 10Ks, and marathons. For the 5K, it was also an 8-week process. And it started with just walking, and then adding some running, and then just running, and going longer and longer, period. So with harness training, it's very similar. You start with just the harness, not connected to the leash. So the first week, every day when they're eating, you just have the harness sitting there next to them. So it's not anything foreign. It's going to be just like any other day, and the harness is sitting there. And then the next week, you put the harness on their back. You don't attach it, you just set it over their back while they're eating. You do that every day. And then the third week, you actually put the harness on them. You give them their food. And if they get fidgety, just take the harness off. Don't make it anything that they have to do. So at that point, do it a few times a day. And then week 4, you put the harness on again and leave it on them for a few minutes until they get fidgety and take it off. Week 5, you do the same thing. Until week 6, when you put the harness on them and they're fine with it. Walk around the house, not a problem. And then at week 7, put the leash on the harness and just open the front door and stand there. They may run away from the front door. They may sit there and look outside, but don't try to take them outside. And then week 8, you do the same thing. And 90% of the time, they walk right out the door. And as long as you just walk behind them and don't push it, they'll walk a little bit. They might only walk for a minute before they go back to the door. That's fine. After that, you just let them walk at their own pace. No particular purpose, no particular place to go, period. I encourage keeping them away from traffic, away from cars. Don't take them to a park. Just do it in front of your house, around your house. I happen to live in an apartment building and we have a lot of sidewalks, so it works really well for them. You'll notice the harness I'm using. It's actually a harness made for a small dog. Now I got mine at Petco, but in the description I'll list any other places I think you can find them. I don't suggest you use the ones that are made for cats that are like a large piece of fabric, because that covers more of their fur and that irritates them, and they are less likely to want to walk if they're covered like that. Now, there are people who live in cold climates and they have trained their cats to wear full-on snowsuits and booties. I get that. That's out of necessity. But I live in California. I don't have to do that here. If it rains on a day, he just doesn't go outside. And that's fine. But if I lived in a colder climate, I would have to train him with cold weather gear. So that's harness training a cat.